Hey there, it's Danielle Bernack from DanielleBernack.com, that lady on the internet who loves you, connecting you to the love that heals so you can love yourself from survive to thrive. Today, I want to talk to you about something called pausing, or pause, the pause. People say it in different ways. And how that is empowering. When we think of the word empowering, we can think of how we need to do things and do things and do things and do things. And we can do so many things, we become overwhelmed and exhausted. And we don't think about pausing. Pausing does a lot of things, and we can pause in a lot of different ways. One way I'm pausing while I'm doing this episode with you here is I am pausing when I'm talking. I'm doing that with intention. When you listen to someone who is speaking and they pause, and they don't rattle off really fast and you can't know what they're saying. When people talk real fast like that, we get lost. And sometimes our mind even drifts off. But when people pause when they're talking, you tend to lean in a little bit. They're being intentional. And it perks up our ears a little bit. And we pay attention a little bit more. That happens when we pause in life also. We can pause if we're upset about something. We can pause, close our eyes for a minute, not if you're driving. Pause, close your eyes and take a nice deep breath. And it can just calm you and empower you to lean into your life with greater intention, to take ownership of the skill of utilizing your emotions for what they're for. Emotions are telling us something. If we get upset, there's a reason. If we'll pause and go, why am I so upset? Or why am I so angry? Or why am I this? Or why am I that? And it's awareness. When we pause, we bring ourselves into awareness with intention. Pausing is powerful. It will empower you in your conversations with people by pausing to think about what you want to say instead of just letting your mouth go, which we can all do that sometimes. I still do that because we're human and we do that sometimes. But the more we practice pausing to think, pausing about what we want to say, pausing to collect ourselves when we're having an emotional moment, pausing before we make a decision, especially a large decision. We can tend to be impulsive. Are you run by impulsivity? Do you make a lot of impulsive decisions and then find yourself in trouble in this way or that way, or financially or socially or whatever way you are? If you'll pause, it'll give you the ability to be intentional. It will empower you to make your choice instead of your emotions making the choice, people around you making the choice by being coerced or manipulated or whatever way, because we affect one another. And to take ownership of our life, pausing is an important thing to do. And there's one other way we can pause. I was inspired to share this with you today because of an email I received actually this morning by Jeff Goins. He writes on Substack. He was writing about how he went out to eat with a friend, and it was this unique restaurant, I've never heard of such a thing, where they brought one bite of food for you. And a very fancy thing, the chef decided and all that, but in the middle of the meal, they got one potato chip. One potato chip. And he was a little like, what's going on here? I would be too. But the whole point of the story that he shared there was that potato chip was for the purpose of cleansing the palate. They'd had all these spicy kind of things, and it was to cleanse the palate. When we pause in our life, it's like we can cleanse our palate and be more intentional in our life. We're pausing to pay attention. And we can do that in moments, and we can do that with a day. We can do that with a weekend. We can do that with, a vacation. But sometimes people come back from vacations needing a vacation from their vacation, and that wasn't so effective. But I'm going to be taking a pause in a little bit here. By the time this gets on Victorious Souls, I will be on my pause. I'm taking a pause. I'm going on a little trip with my husband, a nice little 8-day vacation. Very excited about that. I'm going to be pausing, doing a number of things I normally do to get respite inside of myself, in my mind, in my emotions, in my body, in my circumstances. And I've been doing a little bit of the pause over this whole summer, which I have shared with you, by blocking off time. My husband retired this year, and we've gone on a couple of little short stints here. We went to Gatlinburg, we went to Port Austin, and we've, done some other little things, and I've paused a great deal of how much work I've done over the course of the summer. I haven't stopped. I've paused. See, pausing and stopping is not the same. Pausing has the intention of continuing after the pause. Sometimes you might need to stop something, but that would be for a different video, a different episode than this. Pausing is to take a minute, to take an hour, to take a day, to take a week, to pause, to be aware, to be intentional, to cleanse your palate, to cleanse the inside of yourself. Think of it as a palate when you're eating, and to start fresh. The power of pause, empowering yourself with the power of pause, is it gives you a freshness. It puts it refreshes you to go forward, and that is empowering. Think about when you get up in the morning after a good night's sleep, you are refreshed. You paused all your activity while you were sleeping. So I want you to think about this, pausing and the power of pause, and empower yourself with that power of pause in whatever way you can. Maybe you can't do a week, maybe you can't do a day, but maybe you can do 30 seconds. Maybe you can, again, if you're driving, don't close your eyes. Close your eyes, just take a deep breath. How many seconds did that take? And a pause can be very short and simple, or it can be long and drawn out for whatever kind of pause you need to empower yourself. So until next time, remember, I love you.